Hey, what's going on, family? How you guys doing? This is Larry, man. I just decided to start back doing videos today. It's been a while since I put a video out. A lot of you guys may have watched me go through my experience with losing my daughter, and that's another video. That's not what this video is about, but it's a tough time for me, and I almost ran from just I don't know. I almost ran from it. So let me get back on my videos and try my best to help somebody because that was my intention in the beginning. So listen, my video that I got the most like, comments, engagement on YouTube is my video surrounding how I went from being a convict, right, an inmate, to making six figures. I worked my way up in a company. And even fast forwarding to now, I own my own company. I don't work at that place anymore. I lost my job back in 2019. I lost my job. I lost my job after that video came out. It almost probably was a year after that video came out. But up until that point, I was doing really well. I was making into six figures, traveling all over the nation, and also leaving outside of the country, going to a place like South America, the Caribbean, Canada, doing work, right? So I talked in that video about what I did to actually get to that point. All right. But now I want to fast forward it to the point I'm at now. Right. So I went from being, for a lot of you guys who may not know, if you go back and find that video, it's in there. It's my most viewed video. Um, I went to prison back in 2000, 4 years, 2 months. I shot a couple of people. I was in a drug game. I was selling dope, and drug deal gone bad type situation. Long story, but I ended up shooting a person who was involved and an innocent person. So I was sentenced to prison. They sentenced me. I had aggravated. Well, I was in Chattanooga, so it was attempted murder. Pleaded down to aggravated assault. Got 2 5 years because it was two people. Got hit, and then I escaped, and they gave me another year for escaping. So I had a total of 6 years. Chattanooga at the time, Hamilton, the state of Tennessee, TDOC. If you stayed out of trouble at the time, they would give you, and you was classified low, they would give you 16 days a month. So I actually did my sentence in 4 years and 2 months. I had some county jail time and then prison time. All right, now got out of prison, came back to Atlanta, started working my butt off. So I gave some generic advice in my previous video, and it was good advice, being committed, all that stuff right there, understanding that, right? Those were like check boxes. It sound good, and I seen some people didn't like it, but I also understand that everybody's situation ain't the same, right? Everybody, where you go to, the county you live in, the place you parole out to, if you on parole. I wasn't on parole. I flattened my sentence because it was short enough for me to do, and I had an escape charge. And the guy told me at the parole board the breaks was given at sentencing. That's what he said. He said, your breaks was given at sentencing. You won't be receiving any here. You're going to flatten this sentence. So I had to flatten, which was a great thing because when I got out, I didn't have to report in anything. So I know a lot of you guys may be dealing with that. You got to go report. You got all these different confines, constraints around your life when you first get out, if you're on parole, probation, or whatever. So my situation is different. But I can say that there are some basic principles to actually coming up, even with a conviction on your record. All right. And I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest tools and resources that I needed and I had, that was the most important thing, the most valuable thing. The reason why I'm standing here today is connections, family and friends, man. Family and friends. Um, when I got out, I worked some temp jobs, and I would lose the job after 6 months because you know how the temp services do. Back then, they didn't really want to hire you. They just wanted to get over whatever hurdle they was in, and then after the 6 months or whatever, when they got to bring you on permanent, then they get rid of you, right? So I always kept getting let go. I started out working at a pie factory. Oh my God. It's a pie factory right here in Atlanta. I stand on my feet all day making pies, man. That was some tough work. So I would make those pies. It was all good though. Because I needed the money to go get my driver's license back. So that's why I was really working at the pie factory. And after I got done, after I got my actual made the pies and made enough money to go get my driver's license back, I went and got my driver's license back because I had caught a traffic ticket before I got locked up. And I never paid it, and they just suspended my license, so I had to pay some money. But long story short, I worked at that pie factory. But I got tired of actually losing my jobs after 6 months. So I started cutting hair. And that was one of the greatest tools that I actually did when I was in prison in Tennessee, TDOC. I was at a camp that actually allowed you to get skills. I was at Bledsoe. I was at it was in Pikeville, Tennessee. It was Bledsoe State Penitentiary. But long story short, I was there and they let us get our barber's license. So I got my barber's license when I was there. So when I got out, I really couldn't cut hair that good. I was intimidated by it. I was scared, but I got tired of um losing them jobs. So I took my clippers, got the money from my daddy. God rest his soul. Love that man. He gave me the money. It was $300 to buy me some clippers and all my little trimmers and stuff I needed. Somebody had abandoned a pair of clippers at my sister's house. I took them. They was broken. I had to get them fixed, but whatever. I started cutting hair. I dove right in, man. I could blend a little bit, but I really went all that. I dove in and I didn't really make a lot of money cutting hair. I had great months. It was sometimes like during Thanksgiving, I would make great months, great money, but it was a struggle. But I met people while I was there and I built a relationship with a guy who actually gave me another job. I met him through my sister. It was a boyfriend of my sister, and I started cutting his hair. So I started cutting his hair, and he liked me, and we talked. And he said, "Man, he was a general manager of a company." He said, "Man, I'm gonna give you a job." He gave me a job, and that's what got me actually into the computer field, the IT field, the networking field. So number one, my relationships got me to a certain place. My desire, man, like I didn't give up and go back to the streets when I kept losing those jobs. So you can't quit, man. You may be in a place right now that there ain't that many jobs, but you still got to be committed. Don't quit when it get hard and stop and go back to selling dope or robbing people or stealing or whatever you did to make money before you got out of the joint, right? Before you went to the joint, okay? So I didn't quit. I didn't go back. I was catching the bus in the rain and stuff looking crazy. But I eventually pushed through. So that's the commitment part. I pushed through and it was hard, man. It was. So I got the job working there and he would put me in these courses and he just made me go to these little networking courses or whatever. And it struck my interest about IT work, networking, pulling cables, low voltage, high voltage, all that stuff and learning how to make machines talk. And it was cool. But eventually I lost that job because the economy. It was back in 2008 when the economy went down and they lost all their contracts. So I took a temp job. Now this is how I got to where I was. All right. Now remember this now. I was working at a place that was paying me $15 an hour. Good people, great people. I like them. I was like a member of the family. And my sister was working at a place that needed some temp help for $12 an hour. And they didn't let me go. I left that job, which was the best move. I left my $15 an hour job. Now, for all you guys who talk about you want to come up, you say you down for the cause, you gonna do whatever you gotta do. I sold crack in the rain. I stood on corners for real. Like when we got to herd, I would rob somebody for real. This ain't no brag. I'm almost ashamed I did all that stuff, but I did that for real. So in my mind, that if I'm willing to do all that, then I can go work a job getting dirty. I can go stay extra for a little money. I can take a $12 an hour job. That was my mindset for real. So I talk to people who tell me that they sincere and serious about making it out here, even after having convictions or whatever, but they don't have that same hustle that they had when they was selling dope. They don't have that same hustle they had when they was out here robbing people. You get what I'm saying? Me speaking to myself, and I know that my situation is not maybe like yours. I was down for the cause. So my number one rule was if I'm willing to sell dope, if I'm willing to do all this stuff, I do whatever I need to do. And that's what I meant. So I left that $15 an hour job, riding around in the company van. They had gave me a card. I would go fill the van or wash the van, riding around in the van, all that stuff, man. And I left that job to go be the bottom man. I left my little job to be it was tough. They had lost all their contracts. And basically they were paying me just to show up at work, right? So I left that job to go be the bottom man. worked every shift, man. They put me on third, they put me on first, whatever shift, treated me bad, treated me like a boy. My boss at the time was a horrible individual, treated me horrible. But I committed myself to this. I said, the same story I'm telling you guys. If I can get out on that corner and slang dope, if I can do this. So I committed myself to learning the hardest stuff that they had to learn. That's another point for you. My brothers and sisters who may have been had to go through the penitentiary system or whatever it took for you to get to where you are today. When somebody give you a chance, right? Commit yourself to learning what nobody else want to learn. Nobody else want to learn. You got people who are very comfortable and they show up to work every single day just to get by. You cannot afford to be that person. You can't. You have a conviction on your record. You always have that asterisk by your name that if they want to get rid of somebody, you the perfect candidate. So you have to be willing to stay late, come in early, do whatever. So how I made myself indispensable was I found this guy. He's a Native American brother. He's just being a really quiet, nobody really fooled with him. And I just pulled up on him and started talking to him, talking him up, befriended him. Cause I realized that he knew a lot of stuff because he didn't have to play the games everybody else had to play, right? The boss respected him, even the boss that treated everybody like trash. He didn't get it. So I found out why. He had the knowledge. He knew these backup programs, these software that nobody in there knew. So I started learning them and I picked the hardest one. So if you want to find yourself, you want to get a great job, you want to work yourself up, or you want to submit yourself into a place, learn something nobody else want to learn and become a master of that. And that's what I did. I learned it. So fast forward a few years in, 5 or 6 years in, because I eventually worked at that company for 11 years. I eventually became my boss. The boss who treated me like crap, I eventually became him. I had his position. That's how I worked myself up. Now, don't get me wrong. It was a tough 5 or 6 years, man, working them different shifts, being treated like crap. They started me off at $12 an hour. Then they rose me to $16 an hour. And just worked me. I didn't make no more money from $16 an hour for about 4 or 5 years, right? And I know it sounds crazy. I know a lot of you guys like, I would have been left that job, but it was just something about it. I knew I can make something out of it. And like I said, this situation may not apply for you because you may be in a place that's a dead end place. And my place was a dead end too, but it was just the knowledge that I felt like if I can learn this. So I worked my way up to be the production manager, got a nice raise. They started paying me $50,000 a year to become the $50-some thousand a year to become the production manager. Then I worked my way up. They gave me a $20,000 raise. I started making $79,000. Then I eventually made over 100, right? So to be the ops manager. And then, it was a tough time working. But then I had to finally realize after I've learned so much and after you learn so much and you become so valuable. But the problem is a lot of you guys expect people to hand you stuff. You expect because you've done your debt to society that they're going to hand it to you. No, you are in competition with them and you got that asterisk by your name. And because you have that asterisk by your name, it's a lot of these people who they love that because they feel like they always got one up on you. So you have to be the Mr. Go-To or the Mrs. Go-To. You cannot subscribe to that mindset of, I'm just going to work my 8 hours and go home. It sound good, right? But at the end of the day, that's not how you're going to fight your way out of that situation. So it took me 11 years. I worked there. They shut the doors. When they shut the doors, I started working for myself back in 2019. So I worked my butt off. I did all that work. I got the job through relationships, people I knew. I had proven myself. I had been out 4 years before I got that job. And people could trust me. So it was a lot of times, a lot of you guys get out the door day one and expect people to trust you, and they not. They not. Like, if somebody just got out of prison and you don't really know them, would you trust them? No, right? So you may not gonna get the job that you want or the kind of opportunity you want initially, but I can tell you that if you go and keep busting your butt, working yourself, working your butt off, you'll eventually work your way up. So in 2019, they shut the doors. And when they shut the doors, I always knew that I was gonna do this for myself. I did. I I had been procuring software and tools. So they would have like these times when they would throw away hardware. They would throw away like equipment and they would just trash it. And I would get it out the trash or I would say, can I have it? And I would take it home and learn how to work on it. I'd be on YouTube learning how to install operating systems. Let me ask yourself, for all my convicted felon people, have you invested in yourself? Have you made yourself better? Like, have you put time, money into your skill set? Or are you just wanting society to forgive and forget? You got to become indispensable. You do. You have to become somebody of value because you're competing with people who have college degrees, work experience. They don't have felonies. They don't have an asterisk by their name. So what do you bring to the table that would make somebody want to hire you? Think about that. What do you bring? All right. So I had been accumulating equipment for like 4 or 5 years because I was in a position now at the ops manager that when we got rid of equipment, I was the one to say what we got rid of. I was the one to say, because we had these refresh, we had to get rid of stuff. And we would get these recycling companies to come in and like, no, I'm going to take this stuff. So we would take the stuff. And my boss, who was the VP, eventually the CEO, said, you can have it. I don't care. Take the hard drives out, take it on. So we get servers, we would get equipment. So as time went on, when they let us go, I already got all the equipment I need to get going. So I started doing what I do in my basement. Now, at this point, nobody cares about my past. All they care about the services I provide. How did I get there? Again, I made myself indispensable. You got to be willing to be at the bottom. If you're not willing to be at the bottom, then you undeserving of the top. Remember that when you get out and you first touch down and you get back on the streets, whether you're on parole or not, or whatever the charges you may been incarcerated for, I was locked up for attempted murder, plead down, and aggravated assault. And I had dope cases down here in Atlanta, theft by receiving case. I had all kind of cases. So don't tell me somebody with multiple felonies can't do it. Don't tell me that now. So for all my super felons now, don't try to tell me because I got a bunch of felonies and this ain't no brag on that because it's stupid. It really is. But aggravated assaults, dope cases, theft by receiving cases, and then when they do them arrest records, even if you wasn't convicted of them, your arrest come up. So they got like I had to pass this background check recently. Even my arrest came up. So some of you guys may been convicted of one thing but got 10 arrests and they can still see your arrest. You get what I'm saying? So I had several arrests for a bunch of serious stuff. You get what I'm saying? But a couple of cases, the statute of limitation expired on. I had a couple of shooting cases, one shooting case in general. The statute of limitation expired on. A bunch of stuff, man. And this ain't no brag, but I'm saying that if I can do it, you can too. You can. You can. But what you got to understand is it's not going to be easy. I'm sitting here now. I own my own business. I bought me a 17-foot box truck. I got a warehouse, y'all. Some of y'all look through my videos. I got a warehouse. And I'm going to probably do another video coming up just to show you a fully stocked with equipment, AS400, SQL servers, Windows servers, Linux servers, backup tape drives, just stuff I make money with, right? We repair laptops, refurbish them when we need to make quick money and sell them. We got some people that buy laptops from us in bulk, not one, hundreds of them at a time. I sell shoes still. I got my online platform. But listen, I am the guy who got out of prison in 2004. I am. I just have learned more. I know some of you guys don't know. No. You looking for an excuse, you're going to find one. For my people who looking for solutions, you're going to find one of those too. Okay? So I ain't going to make this video too long, but it's already went over my normal. But I wanted to share that with you guys. And just share that and just let you know, listen. If I can do this, I don't even want to go down my failure resume. Like, it's a trip now. We have to prove to people how much a failure you are just to get them to validate that, yeah, if he can do it, I can do it. I was an epic failure. You hear me? Epic loser. But if I can do it, you can too. All right? So coming in the comment section, I'm going to engage with you. If you got any questions, if it's anything that I can give you advice on, like if you ask me what I feel like one of the best things for you to get in tech, the tech industry. If you're a convicted felon and you want a job, learn tech, whether it's the cloud, whether it's hardware. Find a niche in tech, something that nobody want to do anymore. A lot of the younger guys now, they don't even know what physical hardware is anymore. They just know VMs, virtual machines. So get in tech. Tech is one of those industries where nobody cares about your past. All they care about what value you bring to the table. So for all my felons, if you want to learn something, learn tech. Learn tech. You hear me? All right, man, let me get out of here. This Larry. Talk to me in the comments. I hope you like the video. I hope it add value. If you do, man, like the comment, share. Let me know you like it. If it was too long, say, God, dog, Larry, it's cool, but I can't watch to the end. And I'll shorten them up next time. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys for liking, sharing, comment, everything, man. I appreciate you guys for subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much. Be on the lookout for the next video. Peace.